Hello, everybody, and welcome to part one of the finale of the Party Makes Things Worse song of the Reliquary. I would love to start with some music that is more hype than this, but when our chosen path to the end is walking through a green lit sound bath hallway full of undead creatures, my options are limited. I can only do so many things musically. And one of them has to just sort of be like big creepy music. So I guess that's where we are. So I will ask, people ready to give their penultimate character facts?
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
ready too.
Who's up first?
I guess I'll go. So one of the main callings for Hilver to try to figure out how to generate deities back in these deities back into the world that help with the form and function of society is that when he was incidentally funneling research notes and stuff to that one doomsday cult, one of the other guardians of Cradle had actually infiltrated the cult. It was keeping tabs on it, and also was using Hilver to relay information back to the guardians. So they were the one that kind of tipped off the guardians to basically put the hammer down on the cult when things got really bad. But at the same time, with that, we're highly suspect by the cult, and so they kind of were like, hey, let's go get this other group of our people to kind of take you on a long walk into the kind of void of Cradle. And so while they were out doing that, the rest of the guardians kind of came in, pushed the cult, but that little group and Hilver's friend were kind of never heard about again. So they kind of might just be kind of lost out there or such. And so that's one of the one few connections that wasn't also a ghost that Hilver was kind of hoping to reconnect with in a long shot with getting a deity of cycles to manifest somehow.
Hilver is just hoping that they have somehow survived in the great black desert expanse that is Cradle, the afterlife of this world. Yikes. Well, you gotta hope, right? All right, who's up next?
Harold will go. Harold has a full walk-in closet's worth of clothes. Just rings and hats and shirts and various accoutrements. But he only wears the same tunic and brown shirt and gray pants every day that he's not on duty, because he doesn't buy those clothes for himself. They are gifts primarily from Beej that he just doesn't wear. He doesn't know how to put them together right, doesn't know how, he thinks he looks foolish when he wears them. So it's a very simple uniform. But if you look at the tag, it's probably the fantasy version of Gucci, on the clothes, because he just found the easiest, simplest stuff and wears that every day.
Harold just cruising around in $500 Mark Zuckerberg t-shirts all the time is deeply funny. It aligns well with you being oh, we're going on an adventure. Let me put on my adamantine plate mail. Unrelated, but it's there. There's something.
And people are that looks incredible. And Harold's it's just really good. It just does the thing that I need it to do. It's really about function. So yeah, that's Harold.
Very funny. The thought that all of Harold's friends or work acquaintances think Harold is a bit of a fashionista because he has these very fancy versions of the normal clothes. All right, who's up next?
I'll go.
All right.
This is a thing that it's a secret held for everyone that lives in Glint's Wake. Most people that grow up by Glint, this includes Lemon, can't swim.
Mm-hmm.
Is because Glint being ever so helpful, he makes Glint's Wake unbelievably buoyant and tries to keep everyone happy and safe. So no one really learns to swim because he just helps everyone there.
What's it? Is it the Dead Sea that's so salty that everybody floats? Yeah. That without the salt, it's pretty funny. You just jump in and you're just it's pretty chill. It's pretty
This
good.
is great.
I wonder if somebody really wanted to deep sea dive. Does it attune? Is it a general spell of buoyancy, or does the Michael Phelps of Glint's Wake exclusively like sink and swim like normal because that's what they're into? The big question.
You could probably talk to Glint and say, "Hey, can you do this for me?
Can I get a pass?"
He'll do it, and he'll let you, but he'll also like help you propel through.
There you go. There you go. The opposite of anime training weights. I like it. All right. Beach fact.
It's Beach. Beach's fact for today is that Beach is understandably a little trepidatious about going back to real life and facing, his kind of huge mistake that he's made. And he's scared, I think, for the first time in his life to face his brother, to really explain sort of what happened. But at the same time, he's also sort of trying to come up with some sort of excuse, some way to get out of it, some way to say, like, dang, that's crazy. Like, I have no idea how this happened. Like, that's so weird. So he's feeling kind of both of those things at the same time. So he's trying to think of a reason why, an excuse, I guess you could say, as to like, oh, I didn't know. Like,
clutched saving the world so recently is you do have that, and you're in a pinch in your back pocket. You could be like, was saving Prospect. Sorry,
like, I'm sorry that happened to you, but like, because it did, really, you should be thanking me.
It's a wheel of fate. We're all on it if you think about it. There's nothing, I mean, who knows what we can do about that. All right. I think with that, it's time for our adventure to commence. So for those of you who are not aware, last time, Harold, Lemon, Hilver, and Beige made contact with Surat, our wielder of the current last free and open weapon of the Vemeral, the hammer, is attuned to Surat, and there is kind of only one way out. Surat needs basically to find some way to sever that connection, because otherwise all they can do is wait until Tigor Brightfall, spirit within the hammer, takes them over, which is likely to happen if they ever manage to fall asleep. So, heading off into a dark chasm at the bottom of the atrium of the Reliquary being a massive underground palace belonging to the Vemeral, these mage hunters of this long-dead civilization, which is in the heart of a giant desert. You are now all in the belly of the beast that is in the belly of the beast that is in that beast's belly. You are approaching the bottom of the theoretical mine shaft, as it were.
Hate to interrupt for a technical issue. I just tuned into our stream for a second. Your mic, I think, might be coming from your camera on Streamlab.
Is that the source of all of this annoyance?
Good chance.
Could it be? 1 second.
Yeah, because I've had similar problems, I go to my mic settings and I make it so it's impossible. Yeah, I disable.
All right.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It should be normal now. And I'm gonna just keep talking, because you're not gonna know for like 10 seconds anyways. So I might as well keep rolling, like nothing has changed. We're good?
Roll? Alright, roller 20s.
I don't want to keep going. I'm waiting on Spencer to get that update.
I will say,
yeah, there we go.
Awesome.
All right, say it fast.
Yeah. Like, as far part of our prep, since we're going into the going down into this place within a thing of silence, I'll take out like some of my like parchment with like the calligrapher's supplies, and I'm gonna like try and write like safe halt and
Hilbert starts making Wile
cover.
E. Coyote signs just furiously in the corner, trying to make as many as you might need. So, yes, alluding to that, you are going to be heading down this tunnel, which seems to delve to some place far below even the Reliquary. Powerfully, the sound of the song of the Reliquary, which you know is also some dull echo of the song of the Piper, has been violently pushing its way through this to the point that it significantly damaged the hearing of some people who have attempted to go through. And so, the most clutch spell in this adventure possible, Beige is yet again going to cast Silence, creating a bubble of safety for you all to pass through. I will ask Beej, what is the radius, what is the size of silence?
20 feet?
20-foot radius sphere centered on you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So I've put that up on our Roll20.
Actually, I can choose. I can choose where it is, but I guess it'll be easiest if it's around me for now.
Sure. Or around, you could pick another member of the party. So if you look, that is not the largest space. So you all are going to have to stay within a certain distance of Beej to stay safe and avoid taking whatever damage or influence might come from being outside of the safety of that border.
Cool. It doesn't look like the bubble is visible to me on there, though.
There should just be a big aura.
Like a slightly green aura on my screen.
Would there be another color that would be more
refresh.
helpful? I have a variety of...
Yes. If we could make it...
It also might be, if you don't have dark vision.
Oh, I
Make it
agree.
blue.
Blue? I could do blue. We can do...
Make it
Blue should
pink.
contrast pretty good.
Make it pink.
I'm... Pink might
Tony
work.
Club.
I'll try pink. Let's try pink. Let's see what pink does. How does pink do?
Pink,
is
beach,
very
silence. It's perfect.
Yeah,
I'm not really seeing it.
I'm not seeing it at all.
All right, we'll go
Yeah.
blue.
It's all right. We have a general sense of where it is. If you just go 20 feet out from Beej,
Okay.
you'll know if you're in it or not.
All right.
True, yeah.
So with that silence, you are all beginning to delve down into this tunnel through the wall. As you begin, loud footfalls normally would join you with such a large party, but instead it is in perfect, almost eerie silence that you continue. As you are beginning to take bends to the left and to the right, slightly down, always at a slight downward slope, you begin to get the sense, those of you with a higher sense of survival, that you are slowly spiraling down, like you are in some great corkscrew that is continuing to sort of delve into the belly of the desert. Who is in the front?
Probably Harold.
Great. Then, Harold, you will be the first to maybe experience something. We're not quite on the map yet, so don't worry about that just yet. We're still making our way down in the sort of imagosphere.
Oh.
The sound outside you cannot hear, but it is so loud that the dust and the small pebbles on the ground are shaking outside of the sphere of silence, and in fact are beginning to make patterns. If you've ever seen this as a real phenomena, if you play sound at a plate with sand on it, the sand will begin to make shapes. And you are watching that happen in the small divots of the stone beneath your feet, some of which is carved to the point that it is smooth from having been trod over so many times. And Harold, in the swirling dust and kind of vibrating energy that is outside of the silence, you begin to see something. It is a little incandescent at first, before it takes a real, illusory, vibrant shape in front of you. The first thing you see is a knight in glinting plate mail. You're looking at them from the back. It's like a mirage you're seeing with your waking eyes. And on their cape, they have a seal on the back that you have only ever seen in history books from Bastion. It is the seal of the Knight Commander, a role that has not been used in many years. It is when, due to emergency or public need, a member of the Sentinels is put in charge of the city. They are made sort of the Caesar of the city. They make their way down the street, accompanied by bannermen, squires, and knights carrying crates of food and supplies. And then the tunnel in front of you begins to shimmer and change as well, and you see the streets of Bastille not Bastille, Bastion. You see the streets of Bastion. You see the Western Gate, the one that you stepped through at the beginning of our adventure, open wide, refugees pouring in, getting aid, food, and water from whoever needs it. This knight commander at the front turns, and you are maybe unsurprised to see that it is you. A great hammer on your back, and a house sigil on your chest that you've never seen before. Moons and stars in a sort of swirling tapestry to suggest that you have been made nobility. You then realize that of all the people playing instruments in the back, one of them is Beige, playing a little pipe and entertaining some children. Beige looks up at you, and for just a moment, this dream feels very real. Does Harold do anything? Does he say anything?
I think Harold is looking out at that scene and is definitely tempted by the vision and is getting pulled in. He's failed so many wisdom checks against basically this exact thing that he's clearly susceptible. He looks away for a moment and he sees the group behind him, and he sees Beej standing there, not with a pipe, an instrument he's never seen Beej play before, and like shakes his head and tries to like rub his eyes and look back out.
And when you look back, you see some things that you missed. You don't know if they've always been there, but in the background you realize that from some of the parapets of Bastion, from some of the city lights, you see gibbets with prisoners inside, hanging. You see some of the windows are shattered, some of the manor houses that are higher in the city burning in the light. And then you look out the Western Gate and you look beyond the people inside and you see the Toon Desert. And you see a terrifying titanic shape. You see a ziggurat of dark stone so tall that you can see it from Bastion. It looms over the desert, and the sand, what you thought was sand at its feet, is almost writhing. And you wonder what it is that is under the tower, and if it is sand. And the vision clears, and you manage to sort of shake it off. Some offer, trade, vision sent to you. Who's next in the marching orders? As Harold, you all watch sort of get a little dazed. Who would be standing behind Harold?
I probably would be pretty close to, just kind of like keeping a high ahead, just to be ready with my little like parchment notes in case we see anything.
Oddly, not having failed so many of these wisdom saves, not being so connected to the Piper, the vision that you see is far more vivid than Harold's. Harold saw it sort of mirage-like in the tunnel. Hilver, as you turn, you are suddenly not in the tunnel. You are in the sands of Cradle. Black sand crunching beneath your feet. You are standing on a ritual site. Piles of components in complex patterns weave a tapestry across dark sand. At the center, you stand reading words aloud, complex intonations laden with careful meaning. You hear yourself weaving together syllables to do with all of those things that you think a new god could bring to the world. There are many parishioners around you helping to empower the spell. This is a working of magic, the likes of which has not been seen since the Arcane Empire fell. You see the Guardians watching, reverent and eager, wondering what the result may be. And as you finish, the various piles of magical components vanish, and a figure begins to appear in the center. 4 faces, each point in different directions from a united head. Fractal arms cascade into new shapes, and you see a born god, one of the masks it wears being your own, made in your image. And maybe you wonder what woes could be solved by something so carefully produced. What does Hilver do as he sees this vision fill all of the space around him?
I think he feels like both butterflies in his stomach as well as nausea at like the uncertainty and hopefulness kind of like twisting inside him, and he kind of like maybe staggers a little bit as he tries to like look to the party and
As
look
you
around to see
stagger
if they're there.
back, your heel cuts into one of the lines, this like incredibly detailed rune that is carved into the ground, and as you look down, you see that the lines are made of a paste. And it seems to be blood with maybe ground bone mixed together. And you start to take a closer look at what is in some of the piles. One of them a neat stack of 6 items arranged in a circle you realize are human hearts. Another, as you look across, you see just a pile of teeth. Teeth that would need to come from hundreds of mouths, and you start to look at the face again, and you realize that one of them is wearing a mask and is looking at you, and the other 3 are all singing. They are all singing the melody that you've heard down here so many times, and you also snap out of the vision, another offer sort of spreading across the group. Who would be standing next in the order?
I think Beach is right in the middle-ish.
Okay.
So probably Beach.
Beige, you are completely untouched by the sort of saving throws that other people have dealt with. Same with Lemon. So you and Lemon are both going to suffer the only maybe more acute versions of this vision. Beige, unlike Harold and Hilver, who were sort of watching themselves, Beige, you suddenly are in this vision. You see a crowd gathered in a gilded hall. Not some tacky palace of gold leaf and bad opinions. Instead, every corner, every napkin just oozes taste. Your family sits to one side of this palatial estate, banquet, concert hall, whatever this place is. To one side you look and you see a large band there to give you the backing you need for your performance, and on the other side you see something you thought you would never see in your life. And that is Beige the Younger singing backup vocals. You see a small piece of sheet music out in front of Beige the Younger. Even more unfathomably, it would seem that you gave Beige the Younger the alto part.
And he's gonna kill it.
The entranced crowd sits in rapt attention, staring ahead with stars in their eyes. You see from their clothing that they are from all corners and classes of this world. You see patrons from the Federation. You see the powerful oligarchs of the technocracy, all just watching. What do you do as this vision kind of fills your mind?
Walking into this situation, Beach kind of knows what he's getting into. So I think Beach will, he'll laugh. Okay, he'll give a little snicker. And then he will start humming the song that of like the bottom line, like the whole story about how they, were so cool. And even if, in real life, there's like a silence spell, he can feel the vibration in his head and in his teeth, in his mouth, and his throat. And that will be his, sort of, I don't know, way of keeping himself grounded. This is so strange, but sometimes when I get like sleep paralysis, this is very weird. I know I'm having sleep paralysis and I can't get out of it. The only way I can is if I like dig my nail into my hand, because otherwise I can't move. It's very similar to that. Yeah. He's prepared, so I will fall asleep with my hand like this so that I can like just easily like wake myself up. It's the same for Beach.
That's funny. You realize in that moment, as you begin to hum the song of the bottom line, that you had been singing in your vision. And of course, you were singing the song that you've heard down here so many times. As you come to realize the strangeness of this vision, you see some of the people in the crowd begin to convulse and shake. Some of their limbs stretching, bones snapping, beginning to take shapes that you've seen in this place, as if something about the song is making them look more like the creatures you've seen here. You see one of the viewers stands to run, and as they take just 1 or 2 steps, a massive hammer swinging down from one of the corners crushes them down in the ground, and you see Harold, his eyes glowing with bright magenta light, blood spattered up against his visor. And the vision passes for you as well. Lemon, you sort of walk into the rest of the party as they stop, each of them receiving this vision in kind, one after the other, passing some invisible barrier where the density of the music is enough that maybe the piper can reach out and make some attempt to entreaty. But you are not fast enough as you step past that same barrier. You see Glint's Wake like you have never seen it before, from some strange bird's eye view that still feels like your own. A nestled stronghold hidden in the arms of the mountain has spread into a gorgeous city that reaches out far into the horizon. Aqueducts carry water from the lake down into the city, turning barren parks into beautiful waterfalls and springs, where great craters once tore through the ground, gardens of fruit and vegetables fill the same space. Your vision shifts, and suddenly you are in the council chamber at the top of the city, its long table for many members replaced with a throne that you are sitting on. Courtiers and ambassadors are crowding the hall, each seeking a chance to speak to you, and through a wide open door to the side, you can hear the waters of the lake being shifted by the air. What does Lemon do?
I laugh. So, I would hate to have this much power. and I kind of the same thing that the bees did, not humming or anything like that. I grab my gun and I get it close to my ear and shoot up. And I know it won't have any sound, but that that
You
vibration,
feel the vibration
yeah.
course through your head. As you shake yourself from it slightly, your eyes go back up, and you look out that door towards the lake. And you are expecting to see its permanent resident, Glint, usually walking on top of its waters, looking around at people, or sometimes relaxing on the beach. You don't see him. Instead, you see a statue rising out of the lake in his place. It shows a violinist, a piper, and a singer. Their 3 torsos melding into one set of legs that goes into the stone. In the statue at its base, you see a stained glass relief glowing brightly from within, and it is Glint. He is slender and emaciated and being dragged towards the sky. And you snap out of it as well. You can tell just from their expressions that Surat behind you is also shaking off one of these visions, and even Veda the Hound, you see, sort of stops staring off into middle space and looks around. Metallic body, sort of, you would assume maybe making some noise, but not when engulfed in a circle of silence. You have all just experienced a powerful vision, maybe an offer that has just coursed through you all in a moment, like a wave passing over the group.
Is the silence on us right now?
Yeah.
I turn to everybody else. I hold up a quick hand. I point back, do the visual thing. I say, no. Thumbs down.
That's behind us or forward?
I was pointing forward where the visions came from. I point back that way. And I say, like, what we just saw, bad. We're not doing that.
I'm gonna do something funny. In 1 second. Uh-oh. Sorry, my D&D Beyond just glitched, and it's trying to pull up my... This is the first time it's ever glitched on me.
Oh. Do you have a spell you were going to use, like a message or something?
No. I just want to make sure something. It should be fine.
He's gonna hold out his arms like a zombie and be like...
Harold pulls a gun.
I'm sorry. Tears streaming down his face. Think about the rabbits.
There we go. All right. So, in perfect sign language.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Harold
just starts
responds
signing.
back, and I sign back. Harold also speaks sign language. Yeah.
Harold and Lemon just start talking in basic. I say basic. We've been playing Star Wars RPG in the background. What are we
Common.
doing? Yeah.
Yeah. So
CSL.
I started explaining what I saw.
Yeah, I explain back, and then I'm like,
You guys watch Harold and Lemon
gross.
give each other like the download on what they saw in their respective visions, although you don't know what they're saying. You just see them making like really, because of the complexity of the vision, you guys have to get into like the really weird, like full body signs. It gets pretty crazy.
Emaciated.
But we open because we've never done this before. Harold sees you start signing, he goes, oh, and then starts signing back. So excited.
I get so excited when you start signing back.
This would have been useful. This would have been really useful before.
Yeah, we should have went back through and said what language we do.
And I'm just
And then turn back around.
and I'm standing there with like one of the things I pull out, one of the cartography things, and it just says uneasiness.
It just this
Perfect.
the thought that uneasiness made the cut is so funny.
I mean, looking at
That
it was
vibes.
probably the first one he made, just because he's like staring at the green thing, and it was just the first one that came to mind. It's like getting that one out of the way first.
As you all have this moment of maybe peace, as you take a moment to exchange with each other what you saw and to affirm that you are not going to listen to it, and you continue down, you feel another wave pass over you all, maybe more substantial than the first. The vision that this gives you, however, makes no pretension of reality. It is a brief mirage. For most of you, it is very similar, only for Beige is it a little different. Harold, you see Bastion in flames, just burning. People running, trying to make their way down the mountain, falling in the effort. Lemon, you see Glint's Wake, a crater, hundreds of feet wide with nothing left in it. Hilver, you see a smooth, perfect circle of glass in Cradle. A place where the black sands were heated to such extreme temperatures so quickly that it is smooth and polished surface. Beige, you see something different. You are in like the streets of Bastion in this vision, and you see a figure above a crowd that you are a member of. You see Beige the Younger, a jaunty pipe in hand, playing, and you are watching the crowd around you fail to resist whatever spell he is attempting to cast. This vision hits you all, and then, although you cannot hear anything, looking down the way, you begin to see, lumbering around the corner, the massive form of the final Bastille, the one with Sorvin the Druid inside, and surrounding them is a force of undead that are moving ahead. It looks to be 13 or so, moving around them on either side. We are going to be using the minion rules from MCDM today, so just to be very clear about what is going to happen, if you can deal damage with an attack roll, the creature will die right away. If you are not dealing damage with an attack roll, if you are doing a sort of a spell with a radius of effect, you are going to need to wipe out their hit points. It's not like they have a whole bunch, but they do have enough to maybe be able to tank a couple of blows. And I'm going to ask everybody to roll initiative as your refusal of the Piper's offer seems to earn a different version of the same story. So go ahead and give those a roll, and I will ask you for some ranges here in just a minute while I roll for my own crowd here. Oh, come on. I want to say my initiative rolls this campaign I'm looking forward to being free of.
They have been rough.
I know, I never roll like great initiative, but I feel like they've been horrible.
This is the first time I've ever had a character who had like high initiative additives. It's nice.
Yeah,
I got
it's
a
good
+1.
It happens, but it's rare, but it does happen. All right, anybody over
I have,
20?
I got a 23.
Okay.
26.
26 from Lemon. 20.
I have a +8 to my initiative.
Good stuff.
Whoa.
From Hilver. All right, 20 to 15. 15 to 10. All right, 14 for
14.
Beige. Harold, what happened, man?
5, baby, let's go.
Okay. Now I am just going to ask. So, Beige, Veda's going to go on your turn. When do we want Surratt to go? Do you want me to roll Surratt their own initiative?
Yeah, I think that works.
Okay. Oh, I rolled a nat 20 for Surratt.
It's Surratt! Y'all just don't
Surratt.
understand Surratt. She's insane!
Okay.
Surratt always rolls high. That's why we got Surratt on our team for this mission. For the luck.
I know it's really selling. I appreciate that the dice have done so much work to buy into my campaign theme, that this is all ordained by an outsider hand. That Surratt keeps rolling these great checks to get into danger is honestly kind of perfect. Ooh, one more thing on the screen. Harold, how big is your aura?
10 feet.
10 feet. Okay. I just want to make sure that we have all of our various auras that we need to keep track of, sort of.
And remember,
active and open
everybody,
here.
if saving stuff happens, you gotta be close to me. Or, if you enter my aura just for a second, you'll get an extra 10 feet of movement. So if you have to go 5 feet out of your way, no big deal. It'll recoup itself
Okay.
for the turn.
Up first in initiative is Surratt. You all can, through sort of a narrow space, as you can see that the tunnel kind of diverges and then reconnects later on up the way, you can see this sort of assembled force making their way down, hoping to stop you before you can move any deeper. If you look especially close or attentively, you notice that past a certain point, the same strange, sort of fleshy, entreating force that you saw in the orchard has extended to this tunnel. You see the ground covered in some kind of biological life that fills and sustains whatever it is that is here, outside of these strange crystals that grow in the walls. What is Surratt doing to kick things off? You are quite far, and you need to stay within silence to the best of your ability. What's Surratt going to do?
Good question. Slowly. Struggling. How
do you want?
You gotta grab the little select button at the top left. Grab the select button at the top left instead of the measure tool.
Oh, sorry, I was the one using the measure tool, I think.
Oh, I see.
And then you
can't
should just be
control.
able to move Surratt.
One of these days I'll understand how to use this. Like I'd be moving everybody's characters around like crazy. Okay, there's so many cool things.
Surratt struck me as more of a melee type. so I'm
Yes,
surprised
but
to
there's
hear.
such cool
What's the-
like the multi-attack and stuff. All right, let's just go crazy. Let's attack. Should I roll? I should roll on different dice because I'm scared.
You don't want to touch. You don't want to cross-contaminate.
She deserves her own.
Now I will say, so things to, as far as staying in the silence, if that is, whoops, I forgot that we were on the Discord. I can't touch the Discord call lobby, my bad. Chat just saw everything get real weird for 2 seconds. That's my bad. All right, here, I can open up that. So as far as like distance stuff goes, Surratt can throw that hammer and it will return to them. That might be about the best option you have. It has a range of 60 feet. So I think, so you would be able to target the Bastille in the front if you move just a little bit forward.
I'll move a little bit. And I shall.
great.
Let me roll. Hold on. And... This is me. You guys are witnessing in real time what it would be like if I was playing with like a paper character, and this is why I don't.
I know, it's tough. It's tough, but I got limited options.
No, it's just me.
I'm gonna pull up Surat as well.
Okay, well I rolled an 8, so that's.
Yeah, so
That
first
might still be
attack.
okay.
So for your first attack, that is 8 with a +8 because Surat is pretty mighty. So that is a 16.
She's strong.
You throw this hammer across the distance, and you all watch it just launch across the space. It strikes into the shoulder of the Bastille, but doesn't seem to do any damage. So you missed, but barely. You missed by like 2. So it kind of slams into the shoulder, and the Bastille just sort of leans back and then leans forward, not quite damaged yet, as the hammer re-emerges in your hand, swinging back across the distance. You can throw again if you want.
Yes, I would like to.
Okay.
Okay, that's an unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. A second blow swings across to that same space and makes a deep, wrenching dent in the armor. Although none of you can hear it, it is very eerie to see this hammer just sort of vanish out silently, strike, and then fly back. None of the noise able to reach your ears. What's the damage on that bad boy?
27.
27 points of damage. You all see the benefits.
I actually think I'm starting to like using weapons.
You all see the benefits of bringing a Surat to a gunfight.
This just in, Nicole's next character is going to be a barbarian.
I've been known to think about it.
You should. That would
Princess
be fun.
and Surat are pretty. They would be friends.
Connected. All right, Lemon, you're up, and you see there is definitely a sense of structure here. The Bastille putting itself in the front. What do? You have pretty open eye here.
Sorry,
That was
thunder
crazy.
just... Yeah, there's a lot of thunder there.
Just now. That was so loud.
If you guys lose power in the finale, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, I am
Very softly knock on wood.
going to move. So I have to stay within...
You have to stay in the blue circle. So, to describe what we are seeing to the audience, there is a, 60-foot wide tunnel bending around a corner, strange green crystals giving off powerful light, clawing their way out of the walls. About 60 feet in front of the party is a Bastille, which is like a massive Iron Maiden construct, which they know has a druid named Sorvin locked inside. On either side of it are a number of creatures, some larger, some smaller, various undead, who are arrayed clearly here to back up this Bastille in the fight.
Thank you. I was not able to see it, but with that new circle, I can. Thank you. Go.
Your thing. I think
To
that was
here.
about 20 feet.
And from there, I'm going to, I moved up to the front a little bit, and I'm going to start firing.
Okay.
That's when I started blast.
Yeah, that's Lemon's whole bit. So I started blasting.
Okay, you start firing off these shots. Are you going all right for the Bastille?
Yes. First shot is going for Bastille. And that won't be. That is.
The bottom line will not stand for somebody strong being in the space for longer than one round. We don't focus minions. We kill the big guy first.
I've noticed.
First hit's 26.
First hit is a 26. Yeah, that hits.
All right.
I just accepted it. There is, it seems, no amount that I can ramp up the CR that will in any way affect you all. So I just, we gotta just hope.
My revolver gets a +10.
I mean, what am I gonna do? What can I do? That would hit. You'd hit
It's
Tiamat
tough.
most of the time. Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm. I'll do damage on that. See if I
I
can.
wonder if you would hit
It's-
an aspect of Tiamat most of the time.
I probably would. It's scary.
This is going to be for nobody. The audio track that we are playing for this, is anybody, if anybody out there has played, it's like a card game, horror kind of game, Inscription. Inscription, the fight music for the bosses. This is really calling me to some of those with that like sort of driving like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
It's similar wheelhouse.
That's going to be 22 points of damage.
22 points of damage. All right. It's not dead. What do you do?
All right. I'm going to fire at one of the smaller guys.
Sure.
To the numbers is going to be. That is a nat 20.
With a nat 20, roll damage, because if you do enough, so for the record, if you do a ranged attack, you can kill more creatures in the same line. If you do a melee attack, you can kill more creatures adjacent.
That's 19 points of damage.
All right, 19 points of damage. Which one do you aim for? Go ahead and ping it on the map. There's quite a few that you could be sort of going after here. Well, it sounds like Nicole drops a bag of spoons.
I keep dropping this dang hug.
How do I ping?
Just click
Hold down the
Hold
left
down
click,
your left click.
There.
like that.
Gotcha.
You would hit Tiamat most of the time.
If you shoot this way, you'll get 3.
Yeah, I shoot this way.
All right, you shoot, kill the first one, shoot, the bullet rips through, strikes into the chest of the second one, and they both thump, 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 fall down to the ground, dead. You fire through too. The bullet continues and hits the third one in the shoulder, and it continues to sort of shuffle forwards. You see all of them now are like, keep pushing, and you see just a subtle gesture. The Wode's, which is the name of this Bastille, its hand reaches out ever so slightly as if telling them to wait. Okay. That's your action. What's your bonus action?
Bonus action.
Movement, or do you have any, I should say?
I already moved.
Great.
So I'll just reload.
Okay.
On bonus action.
Reload from Lemon as that you all hear the like ping, 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 ping. Oh, you don't. As you all, for once, don't hear that sound. You just see a little glimmer coming out of the corner of your eye as Lemon starts to load in some shots. Hilver, you're up next.
All right. I can't emerge from this shell of silence safely, so I guess I'll just pull out a couple of these daggers that I have and just start tossing them at some of the minions.
Sure. I don't know if range-wise, are you gonna, how...
It's 20, I guess it's 60 for the long range. That's at disadvantage, right?
Yeah, so you can try to hit the Bastille with disadvantage, but that's about what you've got. So for the record, if you do step outside of the circle, it is not an instant kill. It is a con save and then some damage.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I think I'll just, maybe for now, just since they're holding the line, I'll kind of like sort of tauntingly just toss a couple daggers at the Bastille then.
All right, great. Go ahead and make those rolls with disadvantage, and let's see what happens.
All right. The first one was a 16.
All right. 16 misses.
The second dagger was a 17.
17 misses. You throw out these two daggers, and they both pling, pling off of the metal, sort of bouncing into additional corners, shooting mainly just to sort of antagonize, more so than to do damage. Hilver, you just need to wait for this to move into melee, which you know it almost certainly will in short order.
All right. And I think that'll be, I'll just kind of like stand near the front of the group a bit and just be, oops, I can't walk through the wall. So I'll like kind of like move around Lemon and stand in front, kind of ready to get into the fray.
Okay. Looking out at the crowd, taking a moment, it is the Bastille's turn. The Bastille is going to take a 10-foot step forward, looking out into the space, and it is going to lock eyes on Lemon. Lemon, you see these brightly glowing, inanimate eyes staring at you, and they flare a sickly green that seems to just glow brighter and brighter, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Saving. I'm within distance for you, right? Vale?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
you're
the
in my
10 feet.
distance. You're in my range.
Cool. And what does that give me?
+2? +3?
It's +3, I believe.
I think it's your
on saving
proficiency modifier as a bonus.
Or charisma?
Or charisma.
throws. +3.
+3.
Okay. So, con save. That's one of the good ones.
But if you fail, it'll be more fun if you think about it.
True. So that's going to be a... You gave me +3. So 9 + 10. So 19.
Shit. You all watch this gaze fill Lemon's face. Lemon's whole body is suddenly illuminated, and as Lemon sort of steps back, you all watch creeping at his elbows and shoulders a few joints. Lemon starts to turn to stone, and he manages to shake it off, and it stops. Only briefly, as this thing continues to stare forward, eyes like peeling over you all, assumably looking for further targets to potentially petrify and turn to stone. As it does that, you watch the hold a hand up and cast it forwards, and you watch as 3 of the minions, I will give them a little ping, start to shift and change in small ways. You watch one of them proceeds to grow these thick claws. Another of them begins to, their legs snap and bend and grow a second set of joints, and a third's jaw snaps and dislocates, and their mouth fills with a sharp row of teeth that were not there before. And those 3 all immediately 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 move closer. 30. Okay, cool. That is their movement. And that is the Bastille's turn. That is their turn. They're going to take the rest of their movement. They only took 10 to 15, 20, 25, 30. They begin to lumber up closer to you all. At the end of their turn, they are going to use their villain action forward, allowing all of their allies to move. 10, 15, 20, 20.
This is great news for Harold.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. This is great radio.
As tokens move forward.
Yeah, I know, it's good stuff, right?
Picture
you all
the
watch
creepy crawlers.
You all watch these creatures just begin to scurry and sprint across the distance, making their way over briars, through fleshy patches, over stones, crawling over each other and around the many different areas as they continue to pile forwards, filling the space, heading towards you all as fast as they can. But first, Beej.
See, I don't want to do anything because I don't want to stop silencing.
It's fair.
Because I feel like that's the most useful thing for Beej to do right now.
Sure.
Other than that, there's really nothing else I could do, which kind of sucks. I might shift up a bit to keep up with the group.
Okay.
Just to, keep us moving a little bit forward. But I'm scared of getting rid of that just yet.
Yeah,
So,
go ahead and move your little guy wherever
Okay.
you want to be, and we'll
wherever I want to Beej.
Yeah, within your sort of reasonable distance there.
Yeah, let's not go in front of the big one. Let's
Okay.
not. Let's stay right beside her, huh?
You leave the hulking form of Sarat to be a little bit of armor for you as you continue forward.
I do. Although the one thing I can do is take out my sensor, just in case.
Sure. Do you want to take that? Do you want to take out and light it?
Yeah, just in case. Might as well.
Okay. You all watch another. We have a lot of radius effects going on. You all watch another circle appear. This one around Beige. That intoxicating smell, that like very, very perfumed sort of filling the space, a soothing kind of odor that hopefully will keep attention off of them. With that, it is the Wounded's turn. You watch as these sort of larger, kind of beefier of their number begin to sprint forwards. One of them runs immediately up to Lemon. The one next to it runs right up to Hilver, but ignores Hilver and seems to, like, reaching over, go for Lemon as well. There is some degree of coordination here. These creatures seem to have potentially, at their sort of mistress's command, chosen not to choose their targets carefully. They all have 3 more spaces to move as they begin to pile forward. Those two are going to make a group attack on Lemon. That makes them a little bit more likely to hit, even though they're minions. And if they do damage, they get to do their default damage multiplied by the number of them that there are. That is an unnatural 20 to hit.
That does hit.
You all begin to watch these things leap over the top of Hilver and the rest of you and just start, like, slamming their fists down and ripping at Lemon's armor. Lemon takes 10 points of damage.
Okay.
And is pulled 10 feet back. They grab him by the armor and start to pull him to the edge of the silence.
Lemon would scream, but he can't.
I will say, Hilver, you would probably get an attack of opportunity off on one of them if you wanted to take your reaction. And so would Beige if Beige wants to, like, punch one in the head or something. I don't know. That's your call.
Oh yeah, I'll punch.
All right.
I haven't.
Mostly because these things look a little bit like Jar Jar Binks from far away, so...
You've just now that means that Star Wars does exist in the world of Prospect, and that Jar Jar was in it, and that Beige didn't like the films. So we've learned a lot today.
I have a question. Right. Am I grappled?
You are not grappled. You have just been pulled 10 feet.
Okay.
Right. That was a 26 to hit?
Yup.
All right.
Roll damage, see if you kill 2.
All right, I did 10 damage.
10 damage. You manage to, like, smash your fist into that one's face, and its neck just snaps back and it falls immediately dead.
Cool.
Beach rolled a 16.
16 does hit. Go ahead and roll damage. I actually didn't Hilver. What was your to hit again?
+8.
Okay, great. I was just trying to remember. I suddenly realized that I didn't actually hear what you said for what you got.
I get 2 damage. That's what I get.
2 damage?
That's my lot.
It's a minion. You all watch
Okay, you're right.
You all watch as this thing sprints forward. Beige grabs, goes to grab it by the shoulder. It falters back, and Beige just grabs its ankle and pulls it. It falls, and its head slams into a rock, and it just stops moving. All right, that is another one of the minions down. Up next in the initiative is Harold.
So on Beige's turn, did Beige take an action or no?
Lit the sensor.
Oh, lit the sensor.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Bonus action, pull it out of the bag. Action, light.
Unfortunate.
Sorry,
Harold was gonna
should have taught me sign language. Is the thing.
Yeah, it didn't come up. What Harold wanted
Beige mouths that. We cut to a montage of the 33 times Harold has tried to teach Beige common sign language.
Yeah. So what Harold wanted to do was have Beige pull the silence zone forward so Harold could step out and still make contact with Beige to cast Warding Bond.
Can you not drag me?
No, it's centered on you. So if I dragged you, this silence would go with you. You see the problem?
He was going to tell you to
Oh, that's
move
not
the
what you want.
silence
Okay,
bubble.
okay.
Move the silence forward so I can step out of it and touch you and say a
You
spell.
should have said.
You
You
couldn't
just
do
said
it.
something.
I couldn't. It was my turn. But now Harold is saying it. Like, on the next one, push the silence so I can touch your back. But because that is not an option right now, Harold is going to run forward. 20. Right between these three Geist. And is going to attack them.
Harold pushes between Veda and Beige, running up right against the end, right against the tunnel, swinging out with the hammer to just full, hopefully, Gallagher slam one of these things into the wall. Go ahead and roll to hit. Harold is immediately completely surrounded.
Yeah. It's an 18 plus 9.
Damn. An 18 plus 9 will definitely hit.
And now for damage.
Yeah, definitely roll for that. Let's see what we do.
16 damage.
With 16 points of damage, which one are you aiming for? One of the larger ones or one of the smaller ones?
I think he's starting from the right and just going across. So the one with the sideways face
All right.
is the first one he's
You
going for.
smash that one into the next one. It kills the one you hit, and you hear the bone in the arm of the one behind it snap, but it is still up.
And then I swing again.
Oh, wait. That's not how... Never mind. Its arm snaps, and it snaps so bad that the bone shoots right into his head, and he dies right away. It's so sad and crazy that that's how it happened. Yeah, as the hammer sort of cracks into two of them, you guys are laying waste to these, like, spawned undead.
Attack number 2, I did get a natural 20. It is against a minion, so bit of a waste.
A little bit, but that's
Bit of a
okay.
waste.
It means you'll definitely take out these two here.
I rolled double ones.
No, not double one.
Wait, do you have the thing to re-roll them?
Great weapon
No. Well,
Oh no,
that's
he's
a great
checking.
point.
Oh no, he's looking.
I actually might have
Careful,
that.
everybody.
My features and traits. Fighting style defense. Gray weapon fighter? I don't think so. No. I've got savage attacker,
Okay.
which is not the same thing. But that does do essentially the same thing. I do roll again. I can re-roll and use either roll against the target.
Nice.
So I'm going to do that. So that's 4, 8, 22 damage.
22 damage. One huge swing smashes two into each other. The next two you wind up again, and it shatters one of them down into the crystal, and it takes the other one with it, and they are both impaled and die. You have immediately taken these things from numbering in like the teens down to 5. All right. Harold, is that it
movement-
for your turn as you quietly choke?
The rest of my movement, I run back to behind Beach.
All right. Good to know. With that, these last few of the minions scurry forward, continuing to make their way, and then they will dash to get up into the mix. That is their turn. At the end of their turn, because it is a new go, the Bastille is going to use their second villain action. And you watch as the shattered bodies of those few minions on the ground begin to snap and stand back up. Not all of them, but a good portion of them, 3 or 4 of the large ones and 1 of the small ones, all start to like bend and break back up into the air. You see now bright lines of magenta and green are like filtering up through their necks, like they are being animated by something within them, something unnatural and most likely temporary. You do not get the sense that they are here to stay, as they begin to shuffle forwards, filling the space between you, looking somehow more undead than they did before. It is Sarat's turn.
Nice. Okay, so this time, hold on.
This time.
This time, I want Sarat to kind of go up and be even over here. Hold on.
Sure. All right, we're getting there.
Okay, sort of. That's kind of works.
I think that is on me.
You are, so because Sarat is one size larger, Sarat can be in your space.
Oh, nice.
Big. So that's fine.
So you
Okay,
can't
great.
stand there. It's just, you watch Sarat like just stride over top of you and one of these undead and is sort of lumbering over the rest.
Does Sarat have a 10-foot reach?
For this,
I think Sarat's...
Oh no, this is 30 feet.
No,
I'm trying to do...
It's a cone, right? Is that what you're going for?
Yeah, it's a cone, so I'm trying not to hit anybody. That is cool.
Yeah, so let's do... we have to snap to the corner of the grid, and then... So Sarat's going to probably hit one of these.
Yeah.
You have a lot of options here. I'm guessing...
That's what I'm wanting.
That
The one that hits the
one
most
over?
is ideal.
Yeah, right there.
Alright,
Oh, wow.
ooh.
So you all watch as Sarat, like, takes a couple of jumping steps and then leaps with this hammer and slams it down into the ground ridiculously hard. And I can do that.
And they
and it'll
make
linger
us
for a little while.
save.
Yeah, all right. What am I rolling for this here save?
It is a DC 17 strength save.
DC 17 strength. The Bastille fails. And they cannot use... They have a sort of an ability that they could use, but they can't right now. They need something else to be going on. The minions... Group 1, the small minions survive, or the large minions don't. All right, go ahead and roll the damage for that, and the small minions will all be knocked prone, along with the Bastille. No. Good.
Everyone knows.
now it can't look at us.
Being knocked prone is the worst thing ever.
Okay, this is amazing.
With this
Good
party
for you.
around, yeah, it's not good.
I love playing this character.
Threats are
So
good.
that's 33 damage for those who
Great. Those who failed.
and they are also knocked prone.
Yeah.
They're dead.
And the ones, but the big Bastille is also prone. Right? Is that
Yeah.
Yeah.
a thing?
Yeah, so the large Bastille
That's
is knocked
crazy.
prone. The other ones that survive...
And they take half damage.
Yeah,
So 16.
the two that they take, because they're minions, they take no damage on a success. They just basically manage to leap out of the way. But what you do is immediately kill the 3 resurrected undead. As they stand up, they are immediately shattered to pieces. The other smaller undead, like, literally jump up and grab onto, like, stalactites in the air to get off of the ground, but the Bastille cannot manage to, loses their balance, and falls backwards, slamming into the ground. Again, silently, all you see is them fall with no audio to accompany it, as Sarat immediately just crushes half of this arrayed force that is in front of you. Brutal stuff. All right. Anything else on Sarat's turn?
I don't think I'm close enough to use my reaction, or my bonus action, unless...
I mean, you could
Let me look.
step, if you take a little 5-foot diagonal step, you'll be surrounded by enemies, but you will be able to go for it if you'd like.
I can hit this guy.
That guy, or the one that's under you right now, you could just like
Oh
slam
yeah,
between
there
your
is
legs.
one right there. Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that.
Okay, go ahead and make that bonus action attack. Because
Kick
that
him,
one
Surat.
is prone.
No. Rolled a 4.
A 4.
Plus 8.
Yeah, as Surat goes to slam the hammer down between their legs, this thing skitters around to the other side, trying to survive, and manages to get just barely out of the way. Oof. All right. Up next in initiative is Lemon. Lemon, your situation is less desperate than it was a moment ago.
It is great. I am.
And you're being protected by the gigantic thighs of Surat.
That's true.
This
The
is
powerful thighs of
It's
Surat have you
very safe
covered.
there.
Yeah, I am. Where was it?
Whether or not Lemon is having some big woman feelings is up to you. I don't know. That's your call.
Lemon question.
Lemon's just like
It's not
big
nice,
Lemon
lady.
is
you know?
Lemon
Big
X
lady.
Surat? Question mark.
I'm just trying to find.
Sorry, Lemon is
all
just
my-
being defended by Lady Liberty right now. It's just powerful
Every
stuff.
time you look for your character stuff, I think it's hilarious because I know what you're gonna do is shoot. I know what
Yeah,
you're doing
but I
is
have-
shooting them.
Yeah, I have that, but I also have some other.
Lemon's got to
other
look
fun
around
things.
and then shoot. It's
First
like
first I've heard about it. I'll tell you that. First I've heard you get something else to use.
it's like going to a restaurant where you know what you're gonna
You know.
get. You know what
you know you're getting the fettuccine Alfredo at Olive Garden. Just get it.
Just
you don't
get
need to look.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Do I have? It's hard to read the map. Do I have any like on top of me?
Yes, you have one that is
Yeah.
adjacent to you, on the other side of Surat's massive
I
thighs.
see. I see. Cool. I am. I'm going to. I don't want to. Yeah, I'll use my second wind to recover some HP.
Great.
And because of that, I am going to get to take movement without taking attacks of opportunity.
Okay. I
So,
need to
okay.
note where my dead bodies were so that I don't forget.
Here. I'll heal up really quick. 1d10 plus 8.
Wasn't there one more?
Is it like back here or something?
Yeah, there's one right there.
Okay, thank you. I was like, that number's not quite right. Appreciate it. I need to remember in case they do any other revival shenanigans where their dead bodies actually are.
That's my bonus action, and then as my action, I am shooting.
He's blasting.
I'm shooting the one that's under Surat's thighs.
Great.
You're doing the wanted bullet curve
Around.
that goes around.
I don't think I'm even doing that. I'm just shooting between legs.
Yeah.
Whoa.
All right.
Hold really still.
Okay.
That's going to be a 9 plus 10, so a 19 to hit.
19 hits. Go ahead and roll damage. Let's see what the result of that is.
That is going to be. Uh, 20 points of damage.
Kills that one and the one behind it.
Perfect. And then I want to hit this one. The one that's right in front of.
Absolutely. Making good use of that Deadeye or long shot or whatever it's called. Sharpshooter.
Mm-hmm. Sharpshooter.
Shooting between people's legs. As Hilver is punching, you're shooting like in the space between their arm and their body.
That is going to be. Let me ask this before I. If I go through that range killing, will the next shot hit the big man?
No,
McGee?
that rule only applies to
okay.
minions.
Gotcha. I don't want to do that. Then I want to shoot at Big Man McGee. Then.
Okay, so you're just gonna aim right for the Bastille. Absolutely.
Yes. Sorry.
No worries.
All right, that is going to be a 14 plus 1 plus 10, so a 25 to hit Bastille.
25 definitely hits.
All right, that's going to be. That is 13. 21 points of damage.
21 points of damage.
And he is sapped. Disadvantage on his next attack.
Okay, good to know. All right, Lemon putting the hurt on these fools. Anything else on your turn?
Nope, I already bonus actioned.
All right,
I'm good.
Hilver, you're up. The pretty massive force is now down to mostly corpses. The Bastille is hurt, but, not looking too terrible yet. Still surrounded by allies. Their turn coming up. What do you do?
All right. I think first I'm moving towards the one that's right in front of the Bastille, and then moving around Surratt to get in between these two.
Great.
And kind of raising my foot into the air, doing swinging a kick at this guy,
Sure.
the smaller one. And that's another 26 to hit.
Hits,
So-
obviously.
Another 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage. So that one, dead. You slam another fist into the side of its head. It cracks the skull. These things are you get the sense that these might be the Votai that were too injured to fight anymore and now guard the tunnels as just fodder to slow down anyone trying to make their way through.
Yeah. And then I will try and hit this other one, the smaller one here.
Sure.
Near the Bastille.
Yeah, I made some
That'll be
naming
it.
mistakes for sure. I made some poor choices naming wise.
All right. And that's 17 to hit it.
17 hits.
All right. Another 10 points of damage. Just keep on rolling fives on that dice.
You crack another skull, another of these things falls to the ground. You guys have made quick work of these creatures. You're starting to wonder what this thing was thinking, even bringing them in here. How else could it
Alright.
have gone?
And I will blow a focus point to do a flurry of blows on the prone Bastille.
Absolutely.
Oh man, even with advantage, that was a nat 1 and a 5. So, for the first one, so
Yeah, they
first
can't all be
blow, I
winners.
think,
Yeah, in a-
I swing and I get my hand stuck in the corpses all around this thing.
in a flashback to the second episode of this entire adventure, you again do punch a giant metal construct and go still not used to that, actually. Yeah, wow. Somehow still not used to that.
And second flurry of blows, much better with a nat 20.
Nat 20, let's go.
Makes up for it.
Hit that damage.
And that damage will be...
And in this moment, I would like to acknowledge any eagle-eared listeners may have realized that we, in the third episode, forgot that we were using the lingering injuries table for this campaign. Never went back, and it's too late now. Oh, maybe someday.
Final episode.
Final,
we do it.
Oh, please.
Final episode, we listen back to all the previous episodes. We roll every time we get hit by a nat 20.
Oh my god. Every time
Stack 'em all.
Nat 20 or unconscious, Harold's, both of his limbs fall off, Black Knight style.
Yeah, where's the... I thought there was...
I don't know. You damaging?
Okay. Yeah, I'm using another focus point to also do a Hand of Harm with this.
Great.
So it takes...
I say great. It's bad for me.
So it takes 11 points of necrotic damage and is poisoned, if it can be
Alright.
poisoned.
It cannot be poisoned.
Okay. I was kind of banking on this one being more of a wooden or nature bastille. So
Alas.
I reach out to try to like poison it and kind of like retract it, feeling just too much metal and machinery.
All right.
And then, oh no, wait, I need to roll that twice, right? Because of the crit damage. So an extra, so 18 necrotic.
18
And
necrotic.
then,
Oof. You all watch as
Your regular
Hilver
bludgeoning.
like goes full like invincible knife hand into two of the joints and like rips part of the shoulder off of this creature, and a pulse of necrotic energy fires off into its chest.
and then like after that, my fist like kind of like goes to hit it, and then kind of creates like this weird like ripple where a little bit of like cradle kind of like glimmers for a moment as I do 18 force damage.
Oh my gosh.
Jumping this guy.
All right. Is that your turn?
Yeah,
All
that'll
right.
be that was my attacks and bonus actions.
It is the Bastille's turn. The Bastille is in very bad shape. Its number of options that it has left to it are not very good. First thing it's going to do. Don't.
I will try to grapple it. Sorry.
To me. Oh, you're gonna grapple it? Yeah, you can try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's prone still.
It doesn't give a disadvantage on grapple checks.
Yeah.
Okay, but maybe.
I rolled quite bad, so you have to beat a
Okay.
13.
Yeah, it's a 15 for the save.
You all watch as somehow Hilver gets this thing like on its side, and then puts a massive metal construct in an armbar. In response, on its turn, the Bastille looks at Hilver, casting its gaze into your eyes, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
All right.
And I'm nowhere near you. No.
And I rolled a nat 1.
Oh.
All right, so you rolled a natural 1.
Yeah.
Okay, that is really bad. That will constitute 2 fails.
Oh no.
Do you have a point of inspiration?
No.
Damn, that blows.
You all watch as Hilver gets the arm down in a bar, and then immediately this light flashes in their eyes. Hilver's legs and arms start to turn to stone. And then it continues to spread up to your chest. You have your speed is now 0, as you are stuck in place. It is then. I am sorry about this. It is then going to
It's
use
a permanent armbar.
It's going to use its bonus action, Stone Drain. I need you to make another Constitution saving throw immediately.
All right.
Don't fail.
I'll use a different dice.
Probably a good idea.
That's a 12.
With a 12, 2 things happen in rapid succession. The first thing that happens is you all watch the form of your friend Hilver begin to sort of shrink and shrivel as the Bastille's own metallic shape starts to wrench into shape. And it manages to heal itself. And Hilver, you will have disadvantage on your next save. And if you fail it, you will permanently become a stone statue, unless somebody can greater restoration you. And with that, we are going to take our break and pick up in the second half here. So we are going to see whether or not Hilver is permanently tuned to stone. Am I finally going to kill a character right here at the end? Oh, I think I've earned it. I'm just saying. I'm not saying you have to fail, but I'm just saying I think I've earned it, if I'm being honest. All right, we will catch you all in
The
just a
dice are
few
looking
minutes.
that way.
We'll catch you at about 9:05, 9:06. Thank you so much. welcome back. Our break got a little long. These things do happen. It happens every time. At this point, we just take 10. I'm just going to say 10 minutes from now on. I don't know what we're doing. You know what it is? It's, what do you call it? It's like aspirational. We're like, maybe it'll be 5 minutes someday. It hasn't been in the entire history of the channel, but I suppose it is theoretically possible.
One day.
We're going to pick back up.
It feels better saying a 5-minute break than 10.
It does.
It's
We're
like
going to
theater.
pick back up in the initiative here. The Bastille has just gone, and Hilver is now well and truly on his way to being turned to stone. He has disadvantage on his third save because he failed against Stone Drain. The situation is getting dire. And our Nasty has just taken its turn. Up next in the initiative is Beige/Veda.
Okay. I will do. I'll motion to Harold like, do you want me to keep going? Is that what you want? You want me to push it that way?
Harold looks at the battlefield and sees that it's kind of just that guy, and
It's just
with
a man.
with Hilver getting wiped like this, he shakes his head no.
And Beach will be like, okay, great. I really am.
The downside to being a spellcaster enshrined in an orb of silence has
Yeah,
come upon
it's
us,
awful.
which is Beige is just kind of hanging out.
Beach is just doing the Beach silent treatment, and that's really all he
Getting
can
down
do.
to beachness.
He's literally getting
I
down to
think-
beachness.
The bardic inspirations were able to be used in silence, right?
Are they?
I
Is it, am I
suppose.
allowed to do both?
You're
Maybe
blowing
you can just
kisses.
do a little
You don't need
dance,
to
blow a
hear
little kiss at
that.
the end.
Yeah.
I'll do a little body roll.
All right, you. Who are you giving that point of inspiration to?
I would say Hilver. I would.
Thank you.
You know,
Okay.
hope that.
You all
would,
watch Beige
yeah.
do a perfect body roll, blow a kiss. It floats across the space. Hilver, you feel empowered. You have the point of bardic inspiration.
Some
While
of
you're
his
turning
stony
to
skin has the
stone-
little like kiss mark on it as it's like crumbly. Oh, was that Spencer? Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, as you're turning to stone, you watch somebody do a body roll, and it feels pretty cool. It's like, you know what?
Yes.
It could be worse.
It could be notably
Savoring
worse.
those last moments of movement before being a statue.
Uh-huh. A smile. Yeah, this is cool.
All right.
I have something to fight for.
With
All the
that-
movement.
It is the Wounded's turn, and you watch as one of them, actually, if it can go there, runs up, goes 5, 10, 15 feet, and then drags the body that is next to it with it. Oh no, come on, don't move the whole everything. Don't be mean. Drags a body with it. Like it picks one of the bodies up and pulls it along the ground up to you all. And then looks back at the Bastille. And then the Bastille is going to use their last villain action, Swan Song. I need everybody within 10 feet of one of the corpses, which is everyone in the entire battlefield, to make dexterity saving throws. As you watch the Bastille raise its hand to the sky, you realize this is the first one you've seen that doesn't wield a weapon. Its eyes glow, and you begin to watch all of the corpses mutate and bubble and burst, exploding out in horrible, grisly, acidic blood that scatters across the space, striking into all of you.
Dirty 20 for Harold. Also, everybody in my aura, don't forget that you've got a +3.
All right, and was the disadvantage on all saving throws or just the con one for the next petrification?
Just that con save. Everything else is fine.
Okay, I still rolled a 3, so I have a 11 total.
Great, I just rolled so good. I'm so sorry. The DC is 17.
Oh,
I got a 21.
So could you ping where you are?
You're in mine.
Okay. Sorry, a lot of the screen's very dark.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Lemon's like
Cool.
the only
All right.
one without dark vision.
Yeah, it's
it sucks.
awful.
But I do have a torch on me. My
And the light
burning
light
green torch.
cantrips too.
Yeah.
Surratt rolled a nat
Oh.
one.
I got a 19.
A 19. Okay. So Beige and Lemon succeeded. Everyone else
And
failed.
Harold.
You succeeded?
Yeah, dirty 20.
Okay. On a success, you take 21 points of acid damage.
Ooh,
On a failure, you take 42.
that's insane. That's so strong.
I rolled
42.
5d10. 10, 10,
Yeah,
9, 9,
crazy.
4.
Wow.
10, 10, 9, 9, 4. I've never rolled anything like... If anybody ever thought we were fudging... Nope. Oh
That's
my
crazy.
And
god.
then on a save, it was half damage.
Yeah, save is 21.
Okay.
Am I going to be stone or just melted puddle first?
Both.
Ironically, if you fall unconscious first, the stone effect will end. So, in a pinch, it might not be a bad
Kind
idea.
of a win.
Quick, hit him!
Somebody knock him unconscious. Oh, I will say, the two minions are both immediately annihilated and destroyed.
Oh, nice.
What?
That makes sense.
All right,
saying
everybody, be
that
careful.
now.
Surratt only has 102 HP left.
Surratt,
And the
no!
death ward.
Surratt only
Get
has
out of there
102
now!
HP and a death ward. That's it. They're on death's edge. All right. I was going to ask anybody any reactions, anything they need to do. Is anybody unconscious and I need to know about it? How are we doing?
Still
Feeling
standing.
good.
Great.
Ooh.
Hey, I need Beige.
Beach has to do, yeah.
Make a pretty important concentration saving throw. Let me.
Or Beige
Don't
dodge-
forget about your
oh,
plus
for the
3.
half, yeah,
Yeah.
half damage.
Yeah. Let me double check on that. See what the difficulty on that bad boy is going to be. Concentration. You must succeed on a Constitution saving throw to maintain concentration. The DC equals 10 or half the damage taken rounded down, so it is DC 10.
Okay.
Don't forget about the plus 3.
Okay.
What is it with the plus 3?
And you definitely have an inspiration.
I do. Should I use it now or like?
If you drop silence, which is what's going to happen here, we're going to get fried. You need to keep silence up.
Who can say what'll happen? It's not like all the enemies were trying to drag you out of the silence for the whole fight.
Okay.
Ethan in the
Yeah.
corner. Fail,
I
fail,
shall.
fail, fail.
I shall use it.
Okay.
I'm scared.
And I will say, at the end of this session, everybody's going to take a point of inspiration for your cool responses to the scenes at the beginning. So
Oh, yeah.
we'll do those.
QE. I rolled a 15.
15.
So plus 3.
15. We did it. We did it. You all watch acid spray across the front of Beige, and for a minute it looks like it is going to do terrible harm, and you get the sense it does do terrible harm, but you all watch Beige like flip their hair in a perfect arc and send acid spiraling in a perfect loop up onto the roof, and they somehow manage to maintain concentration despite being covered in burning acid.
Harold, standing directly behind Beach, does get hit by that, and he's like, "Ah!"
If you had failed, the DC would have been 21. So I think it kind of worked out if you think about it. All right, cool. That is the villain action of the Bastille. The Bastille is the only combatant left on the field. Those bodies have all been erupted and by extension destroyed. Harold!
Harold is going to run 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, right up at the edge of the silence and up to the Bastille, and is going to swing hard as shit.
All right. This is big stuff.
Both right off rib. That is an 18 and a 22 to hit.
An 18 and a 22 both hit.
Let's go. 12 damage on the first hit.
All right.
Are you rolling with advantage for the prone, or is it?
Oh no, that's a great point.
It is still prone.
Okay,
Why?
no natural 20, so
Good
it
question.
still works out.
Forgot. I forgot it was prone is the answer.
It just like looked at me, and like as I was grappling it, maybe I kind of like anchored it in.
Oh,
with
that's
the
why it didn't get
petrification.
up. You had it grappled. It couldn't have gotten up.
Ah.
And that is
Oh, right. 'Cause
14.
its movement speed is 0.
You gotta love it when the
grappled or
rules
something.
are up here in your corner like that. 14 points of damage from the second.
Yes.
Harold, describe your kill as you end this Bastille and narrowly save Hilver from being permanently entombed in stone, because I don't think Bardic Inspiration applies to saving throws.
Really?
Yeah, Hilver is like fallen partially over, but it's turned into stone as it's happening. So Harold swings over the top and cracks into the chest of the Bastille, and then swings once more into the head and knocks that like crunched closed, and it. falls
Oh,
off
that's
the side.
awesome. The head like smashes in on itself and falls to the... My hat fell with it.
Just like that.
And falls to the
Yeah.
side, knocking down into the ground. What, can you use it for saving throws, Hilver?
Oh, yeah. It says.
I saw you do a
makes it
big
really
affirmative nod, so I
clear.
figured it was
Yeah,
a
it
yes.
says once within the next hour, when the creature fails a D20 test, the creature can roll a Bardic Inspiration die.
Oh.
Whoa, they made that a lot
That's
better.
I think that's a new 2024
D20
rule, yeah.
test
Yeah.
is a 2024 thing. That just means anytime you roll a 20,
yeah.
you can add that bad boy on there. Incredible. You crack into the head of this creature. It falls to the ground, and you begin to watch as sprouting out through the shoulders, out through like the waist and other small places, anywhere that a crack can like be found. Could somebody start up the music again with something else? It's eerily quiet, and begins to pry open the chest. And maybe you are expecting to see a sort of like sleek featured high elven or elven druid extend out, and instead, as it tears open, you see just the skull of a deer. Large horned antlers spreading up, lifts itself up and out. You see long limbs, sort of a rotten, moss covered hide kind of exterior, crawling up out. You see this looming, quite alien looking figure stand. One of its hands like is burning with cinders and embers, like it is charcoaled the bones of the hand, and you can see that its left hand is just the bones of a human or elven hand that are burning with cinder. As it stands and looks at you all, it immediately begins to like grab at its head and steps forward into the silence, and you see this just tall, haunting figure looming down. It is extremely thin, willowy, and tall. It's maybe 7 feet from top of head to the bottom of its feet. And it just sort of stoops down into a stance, looking out at you all, head sort of tilting to the side, and you get the sense that you are seeing Sorvin, who held the forests to the west for seemingly a couple of decades against the Deathwoken.
How does Sorvin look comparatively to our wizard friend upon leaving the Bastille?
You can make a couple of different checks here. It's up to you. You can go Arcana, you can go Medicine, or you can go Insight. If you roll Insight, you're gonna have disadvantage on account of the deer skull head.
I think unfortunately I have to go Insight. Everything else is a -1.
Insight with disadvantage.
I do have the +11 to medicine, as I can.
Yeah, if you want to like
back
tell what the difference is, that might be good.
I rolled a natural 20 and a 19.
Wow.
So
Harold,
that's a 19 plus 3, 22.
22. I'm gonna give you something weird, Harold. I think with that 22, number one, I think you know a little bit about Sorvin. I think that just inexplicably, like somehow, you know a little bit of the history of the region or something like that. So you learn a couple of things very quickly. Number one, Sorvin does not look nearly as injured as Zariak did, and it occurs to you that neither did Callan And as you look kind of over their shoulder, and you see that there are far more runes inside this Bastille. And you're beginning to get the sense Callan was a cleric, and so could probably sort of sustain himself. Sorvin, it would seem like, was just a little too powerful to just be like driven onto spikes, and so was much more bound inside than anything else. And killing the Bastille just released those bindings. With that high of an insight check, you would also know, I'm going to let you know, you are in, on only Harold knows this in this moment, you are in an incredible amount of danger. Sorvin has stepped forward and has not attacked yet. Quite famously, in the middle of their war with the Deathwoken, Sorvin was captured by the Lophyllum Empire as a heretic and beheaded, and then came back with this deer skull for a head, and has ever since reacted poorly to mortals, in general. The tales of before and after that time, basically like the gulf between then and its disappearance, went from striking out against Deathwoken forces to any mortal soul that was not an animal that entered that forest being killed. So nothing particularly violent has gone on right now, but this is not good in this moment, and only Harold knows in a bubble of silence.
Harold, drawing on that knowledge, is going to drop the hammer and kneel down and just bow.
Okay. Go ahead and make a persuasion check. Hilver, what did you rolled medicine?
I can, yeah, sorry.
Sure, it's up to you if you want to or not.
Yeah, just to kind of like, now that like my own senses are returning to me, I my eyes will like keen in as I look through this medicine mask at this strange entity and try to kind of like decipher its like form. And that's 27.
27. You are looking at the druidic equivalent of a lich. If memory serves, they are called Leshens. They bind themselves to the land so that they can never die, and it costs them the vast majority of their, let's call it humanity, despite this being an elf, of their morality goes with it. They become an archon of the wrath of nature. In like the Forgotten Realms, that's kind of bad. In the world of Prospect, where the gods are on their best days fickle, that is extremely bad. The god of nature is not the sort of like beneficent, a beautiful sunrise. The god of nature is the god of disease and prey, and this creature represents the fact that in real life, nature is awful the whole time. You are born afraid, you run for your entire life, and if you are very lucky, you die of disease instead of being killed by like a bobcat. That is what you are sort of contending with. With a medicine check, Sorvin is not uninjured by their isolation and time inside. This is a wounded and exhausted version of this creature. So you get the same sense as Harold. You get the sense that you are standing in front of a coyote that you have just let out of a trap.
All right. I guess it being a thing of nature, I'll probably like pull out my staff of flowers and like kind of like in one of the corpses here, just like tap it and have like a little like a poppy or something sprout from it.
Okay. Knowing that the stats are what they are, I'm going to give Harold advantage on his persuasion check. I assume that'll be the move, right? Okay. Hilver's nodding.
Yeah.
It got me over 20 to a 21.
Okay, over 20, under 25. This is a very good reality for you all. Sorvin looks out over in front of you, this deer skull, just kind of like swinging from side to side. And you watch them just like fade into the ground.
I pick my hammer back up.
You all pause for a moment. and they seem to have left. Truly gone from the space. What's gonna go on in the Lophyllum Empire in the next few weeks? Nothing good. Nothing good's the answer. But you all have made it through, and you have your own priorities, and is not to solve somebody else's problems that, frankly, they kind of brought on themselves in the long term. With that, the third and final Bastille has been freed, and all that remains is to continue onward down this tunnel and face whatever the choir is, and see if the piper is something that you can bring down yourselves. And we are going to pick that up next week? ? Maybe next week. I'm going to be traveling, but I might be able to record where I'm going. It's going to be a little bit up in the air, so it'll either be this coming week or the week after. We're just going to have to see. And it should be the finale of the Party Makes Things Worse Song of the Reliquary. This has been a very classic D&D, far more than I thought it would be. This is I think our most come watch our home game sort of stream. It's been very fun, and I'm going to be sad to see some of these characters go. If we ever return to the wonderful world of Prospect, feel free to bring Lemon, Harold, Hilver, and Beige back in some form or another. Maybe we'll do like a prequel. Maybe you'll be level 1
if we survive.
That's why I said maybe we'll do a prequel.
If it's a prequel.
If it's a prequel, you can all be there, and then we can just do some sad remembrances at the end. It's going to be great. Thank you all so much for watching. We will catch you on the next one. Peace out.